PrymalChaos. Hey guys, PrymalChaos here, welcome to the channel. Okay, so I, much like most people, came across Chinchilla by way of her live interactions with Ren. So Chalk Outlines and How to Be Me Live. And you know, since then she's released one or two other things that I've maybe checked out. But what was immediately apparent to me, particularly with her work with Ren, was just how not only was she supremely talented, she definitely has her own unique style and everything, but she's just a consummate professional, and the way that she could synergistically work with Ren's energy to such a degree was something that was really fascinating to me. It didn't seem like two artists that just sort of collaborated. It seemed like there was a shared experience there. And that was something that I kind of wasn't prepared for. Like, you think of a collab, you're like, okay, these are two people working with each other to, you know, basically benefit themselves, I guess. But in their cases, they were definitely creating art together with one another. And that was really fascinating. Since then, you know, she brought out Little Girl Gone. And that, again, changed my perspective again, because now I'm seeing how much of, as much as she's not an established artist yet, and I use the term yet because she absolutely will be, you know, she's garnering an incredible following, much like Ren, in certain channels and things like that. But she's by no means a household name at this point. But she's already established who she is aesthetically, stylistically. She has that raw, aggressive, feminist energy as well, which is super interesting and super compelling. The attitude through the roof, right? But she doesn't seem like she's dabbling in style until she figures out who she is. And I know that she's had other deals and things like that in the past. This isn't her first rodeo, but for somebody of her current status, and when I say current, I mean her trajectory is altering through month by month, right? And you know, she's had hits now and things like that, and it's a whole different ballgame to when I first looked at her, which wasn't all that long ago. But you know, it's just really refreshing to see somebody who has such a sense of self, and I haven't really seen anything like that since Lady Gaga came on the scene. And her attitude was, you dress for the job you want, right? So she would go on stage doing support tours and things like that with artists, and they had no budget for stage production. So she would work out ways of creating cool stage effects and things like that, like using lighters and hairspray as part of their dance choreography and things like that. I think Lady Gaga always saw herself as the artist that she ended up being. And it's the same thing with Chinchilla. I see that in a really tangible way. I don't think in 5 years' time we're going to see a different Chinchilla. You know, I think we're going to see the same one, but just producing different music, say, you know, new songs and things like that. That said, she seems like the kind of person who could reinvent themselves fairly regularly in the same way as artists like Lady Gaga and Madonna. But what I found really interesting recently was that she posted a performance of herself on, I guess it's the UK's Voice. And I'd heard rumblings of her doing that months and months and months ago. But apparently this was shot about a year ago now, and it's just airing now. But it just proves my point, because when you look at the Chinchilla who's on stage in The Voice, she's the Chinchilla that we know now. She's not an artist that got molded or shaped by her experience on that TV show. She walked on stage to that audition with the top hat and all of the bells and whistles and the idiosyncratic squeals and screams and notes and interesting takes on the source material, I guess. And I mean, my experience with Chinchilla is still relatively limited, but I get a vibe for who she is, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, she just seems like, in that performance, the artist that we know now 12 months later as well. And it's fascinating. I really want to check this one out. I've avoided it up till now because I've been waiting for the actual music video, so I haven't heard this track yet. And I'm really keen to see what she's going to bring this time. Before I do, I just want to say this video today is brought to you in part by Enchroma. Enchroma make glasses for colorblind people like myself. So if you or anyone you know thinks you might be colorblind, jump on their website, link in the description, and they'll take you there and you can get a free eye test, find out if you have a deficiency and if so, what kind. And they can hopefully set you up with some glasses that will help you see the world a little bit more like everyone else. I really love them. I use mine every day. All right, let's jump into it. Chinchilla, Cut You Off. Here we go.
Cut you off.
Yeah, it's already Chinchilla. Do her gloves have nails?
So I used what you left me.
Hang on, I'm going to jump back again. I want to hear that again. This is reminding me of...
I blocked your number and I cut you off. I stole your thunder, you've had too much attention already. So I used what you left me to sharpen my machete.
Yep.
Testament. Teeth in a
Oh, okay.
conversation, feed them my tongue untied. Deep in a rumination, me and a bottle of wine. I lost my mind.
Great looking clips.
Composure, something about tonight. Buried every hatchet, left me gaslit, obsessive addict, that shit. Married to the power I let go. I lost my mind. You're so fucking bad for me. Still I censor every feeling of profanity. Your fragility could never take the fall. This was inevitable.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to stop it because I'm going to need to stop somewhere. I've got so much to say already. First of all, the intro. It's, again, an interesting choice. I just spoke about this recently. Starting the song with the chorus hook is the quickest way to, you know, there's this old expression in songwriting. It's like, don't bore us, get to the chorus. And other people say, if you haven't hit the hook within like 30 seconds, you've already lost the attention of the audience. There's all of these rules. And obviously rules are there to break as well. You know, there's many success stories based around breaking those rules. But in the case of a song like this, starting with the hook or a variation of the hook is a great idea because immediately you know what song it is. Immediately you know sort of it's seeding your mind so that later on when the chorus hits, you've already heard it. And now you can sing along with it, at least or mumble, hum along or whatever, because you can tap your foot and you've heard it before and you go, wow, I feel like I've heard this song before. Because you literally heard it like 20 seconds ago, right? I love the chord progression. And it also reminded me of, it gives me this bang, bang, you know, bang, bang, my baby shot me down, Nancy Sinatra vibe. Now it's different. I remember that song as having, like it's a Leslie speaker, which is where the speaker has a drum that rotates around it. And it sort of gives you this sort of like whoa, 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 whoa. But in this case, the slapback echo and the spaciousness of the notes being really separate gives me sort of the same vibe. And it's a little bit of a cheeky 60s, late 60s feel as well. You know. And I love that she's establishing the groove because it's really sort of... It's like that, right? So it's really straight. And cut you off. I lost your number and I cut you off. See, she's implying the groove, right? Because it's really just. I mean, you could play the same thing like this. This is essentially what it is, right? And then A minor. And then I guess up to like a... No. Yeah. So really the chords are... Now I'm a terrible piano player, I apologize. I'm doing single note, bass note, left hand nonsense, but... cut you off, I lost your number and I cut you off. Don't know the words yet. So all of the feel is her voice because it's really just. Or whatever he's playing, you know. So it's this really sort of, it's almost like a metronome click. And all of the rhythmic flavor is coming from her interpretation of the melody. And that's a quality singer right there. What else do I want to talk about? There's that, when I was talking about the idiosyncratic screams and squeals that she does, there it is right there. The other thing is too, like when you look at Chinchilla's socials, you get like this weird, kooky craziness, right? That seems kind of out of place. Sometimes it can seem a little bit too much. But then when you look at it, her doing exactly the same things in the context of a music video, it looks amazing. And so you can see where that energy is and why it's there. It's sort of like when you see her sort of going crazy here and just pulling the faces and having the attitude and the kooky sort of smiles and winks and nods and stuff. it all just plays perfectly into the energy that she's putting out in the music. I love that. That's so cool. And listen to the minimalistic production, right? There is not a lot going on here. It's a drum beat, a bass, and some little zip, 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 zip samples, you know? Kick, snare, hi-hats, that's it. It's like a very trap sort of beat, I guess. She's going all Edward Scissorhands. Oh. Your fragility could never take the fall. And then, like, the context of everything, right? I mean, this is obviously about a breakup, and it's about, I guess, her finding self-empowerment in cutting him off and, like, you know, finding herself and her own energy. And then there's that little nod there about, like, your what is it? Your fragility. Feeling the profanity. Your fragility could never take the fall. Your fragility could never take the fall, right? Because relationships are give and take, right? It's about if somebody's ego is too big, then you're going to have to give them more energy to support their fragile ego, right? And so when a breakup happens, his ego couldn't handle it and obviously kept contacting her and all this sort of stuff. And now it's like, I'm cutting you off. Right. So that's taking back the empowerment. And that's what I was talking about with her having this intense feminist sort of energy that's really compelling, because the stories of her songs are always, at least so far, the two that I'm familiar with, are all about that sort of taking back the power. And I think that's really cool. And again, listen to the minimal backing track. It's perfect. Because now it can build, right? And it builds slowly. I saw your thunder, you've had too much attention already. So I used what you left me to sharpen my machete. I cut you. God, the costuming is so cool. I saw your thunder, let it rain on my life like a fatty. Don't call me or text me. Beautiful vocal layers too. Vision's vivid, I'm livid, I see it playing on a loop rewind. She's got like this gremlin energy that I just find adorable. I don't want it to be put on me to trigger your memory and relive mine. You'll remember too well, professional, what happened to tell your lie. Let me leave before I know that is bad for me. Still I lied, that is like cause I feel bad, you see. Your fragility can never take the fall. You're so fucking immature. Sorry, I'll move the mouse. Sorry, I didn't realize. And again, this is bigger, more direct energy in this chorus. Oh my God. Don't call me or text me. I warned you, don't test me. I smashed my phone up, threw it at the wall. Cause you called one too many times. What you do that for? Now I'm lying on the floor, racking up a debt. Now I'm anxious and I'm phoneless. What a mess. Oh wow, okay. Hang on, let me listen to that again. I'm feeling like now we're seeing like the fallout of the ending it and the cutting them off. And it's like, then there's like this sort of depressive sort of lull of like, oh, this is taking a lot out of me. Am I right? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, because again, this is my first run through on this. I'm not super familiar with the thing. Reactions are always your first impressions, and first impressions of a song aren't always accurate. But that's what I'm getting from that middle eight there is like, there's like also a huge deficit now emotionally that has to be addressed, and it's like lying on the ground and, you know, absorbing the pain, right? My phone up, threw it at the wall, cause you called one too many times. What you okay, now this is prior, now right? I'm lying on the floor, racking up a debt. Now I'm anxious and I'm phoneless. What a mess. Then she cuts him off. Okay, I get it now, right?
Believe in that. Till you stole all my money, in fact. Wasted energy backing you. Now it's something I have to do. I got you. I blocked your number and I got you. I saw your thunder in the rain. All my life, take a crazy. Don't call me or text me. I want you, don't test me.
Dude, what a song. That's a banger. All right. You know, it's interesting. It never sort of gets to this chaotic level of energy, but it starts off so lightly and it builds so slowly and tastefully throughout that it doesn't need to. Like that, like it's more the energy of her performance that really kicks it over a notch. Like it'd be real easy to fight. It'd be difficult to fight the temptation to really level that up with big sort of hits and guitars and stuff at the end, but it wouldn't be tasteful, right? The song kind of speaks for itself in that regard. And that was that's really cool. Oh man, this could only be about an actual person, right? This has got sort of like You Ought to Know by Alanis energy, and we all know who that's about, right? So it's the world's worst kept secret. But yeah, man, I'd hate to be that guy. You know, I feel like Chinchilla has really cool best friend energy, I think. But yeah, you don't want to cross her. Yeah, look, again, this is beautiful. This is the kind of production that hacks like myself would really aspire to, because it really breathes and it really moves under its own steam, and it's so spacious and it's beautiful. And that part where, you know, in that second chorus when you expect it to just pop and lift.
I lost my brain. Still I censor every feeling of profanity.
This is like, yeah, this is a pre-chorus, but it just,
I lost my mind.
I love the fact that it just starts with like just a low drop, like
Still I censor every feeling
that reverb just carries like the first bar or two.
This was inevitable.
And then like we go into a chorus, but it's the same as the intro chorus, but now you've got like backing vocals and a pad under it, and also maybe it's just vocal pads, like, you know. And I love that the vocal parts are moving as well, like they're off the beat a little bit. Yeah, they sort of step up between chords. And now we just get the attitude in the verses, right? So that's a cool way that it shifts up too, because like the first couple of choruses are really cruisy and dreamlike. And the attitude it's really precise and detailed sort of texture sort of in the verses, right? With the vocal rhythms and the hi-hat sort of things and things like that. But then it sort of has a shift where then, you know, the chorus ends up having more energy towards the end, right? The middle eight drops back to basically nothing. So it kind of, that's where they do the switcheroo. But man, like it's beautifully recorded. The production's amazing. But every part of this, even the music video, fantastically achieved. You know, like they've got all of these different set pieces and beautiful, interesting choreography and so much color. Like the only artist I can really sort of correlate her aesthetic to is someone like Elton John, you know. And again, he's another one that started out big and remained big. In fact, if anything, he's tapered off in his later years, but he still has that little bit of like suave kind of panache, kind of like energy, you know, like he won't go anywhere unless there's rhinestones on something, you know. And, you know, I get that energy from her too. It's like she's big and she's loud and she's audacious and she's sort of, she's fragile as well, but still has like a poison on her tongue, you know. And yeah, I really respect that. I think she's absolutely amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction as much as I did. If you feel like I've brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel just by buying me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Don't forget to check out Enchroma if you have the color blindness like I do. Like, share, follow, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. I recently did an interview with Raoul Reynolds from Enter Shikari, and I'm trying to boost that. I wish it had gotten a little bit more attention, but go look for that. If you want to see the kind of interviews that I want to do, long form podcast sort of chats, it's a really interesting conversation, whether or not you're into Enter Shikari or not. I suspect a lot of people on this watching this are from the UK and you're probably familiar with them. So check out my interview with Raoul Reynolds, because the more eyeballs that gets, the more chance I have of maybe landing a conversation with someone like Chinchilla as well. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate everything. Stay primal. Catch you on the next one.